Are the All Blacks and the Springboks selfish for starting their greatest rivalry old school style tour next year and having a slimmed down rugby championship as a result? And the other word that has been used to describe that decision by former Argentine legend Gus Pichot is, as well as selfish, short-sighted. What do you think about that? I'd be interested to know. I'm going to use a phrase a bunch of times on this video. Two things can be true at the same time. There's always nuance. There are always grey areas. And I want to get into some of those grey areas in this conversation. And let this be the start of the conversation as well. Let me know what you think in the chat down below. Give the video a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. And yeah, here is what Gus Pichot said. He said he accepts the enormous economic benefit for South Africa and New Zealand of this greatest rivalry series. But he also is concerned about the significant negative impact on Australia and Argentina. He said unions make selfish decisions. And I said to New Zealand and South Africa, this is a selfish decision. But I understand they are economically challenged and they need income, and this will do that. He said it's short-sighted and self-interested, and that there will be repercussions for Australia and Argentina. And I guess the bigger point that Gus Pichot's making here is, clearly this is going to generate a massive amount of interest and money in 2026. And maybe 2030, but what will it do to Australia and Argentina? And as a result, could it potentially, overall, bigger picture, hurt New Zealand and South Africa in the long term? It's an interesting one, isn't it? As I say, two things can be true at the same time. I'm gonna use that phrase a lot. Am I looking forward to the greatest rivalry series? Oh, you bet. It's going to be amazing. How good was Eden Park and Wellington? I was at the three previous matchups between these two teams, Cape Town and Johannesburg, and I was at the World Cup final. It is incredible. The passion of the fans, the knowledge of the fans, the history. And this is going to amp it up to 11 with a proper old school tour. Midweek games against the URC teams and other provincial teams. 3 test matches in South Africa, followed by potentially, rumour is, a 4th test match either in London or the USA or somewhere else, which will generate a load more money as well, all to be confirmed. But so am I looking forward to that? Yes. Does it also leave a slightly sour taste in your mouth at what is going to be Argentina and Australia looking in on the outside and not able to generate the money that they would normally do in the next year? Yeah, that is a real shame. Two things can be true at the same time. The other thing that Gus Pichot accused it of is short-term thinking. And that is an interesting conversation. Could this long-term hurt Australia and hurt Argentina to the point where everyone loses out, even South Africa and New Zealand in the long term? Well, I guess we're only having this conversation because the Rugby Championship has been so good this last year, hasn't it? And look at the table right now. I cannot remember this. It's dynamite. And it isn't just that there's 2 wins and 2 defeats for all the teams and it's going to go right down to the wire and there's going to be a massive amount of interest. The style of play that all of these teams are playing is so captivating. There's different styles. Yeah, there's different identities, but it is just entertainment being dished up. I've said international rugby has never been better. The Rugby Championship has never been better. And yet, this could be the last Rugby Championship as we know it. So is that short-term thinking? There's lots of examples. I could catalogue the examples of rugby making short-term decisions that hurt in the long term. And in fact, I wasn't actually going to mention this, but it actually fits perfectly. So the short-term decision that was made by Sanzar is to copyright strike me, to block and copyright strike, apply a strike on my channel for a video that I made the other day. It was my analysis video following the Wellington test match between the Springboks in New Zealand. And you know what? I don't often puff my chest out about the content that I make on the channel. I just do my best. But I'm actually going to say it, seeing as if you haven't watched it, you won't get to watch it. If you watched it, you might be able to back me up in the comments. But honestly, I thought it was better than anyone else. All the big pundits, all the big TV channels and all the rest of it, I thought my analysis was better than theirs. And so I was really, really proud of it. I'm proud of lots of videos that I made. I'm really proud of the video that I made looking at the grassroots women's rugby program in South Africa that I put out last week that far few people watched, but I'd highly recommend you watching that because I'm really proud of that as well. I think I've been doing some great content in the minute. Sanzar, short-term decision, copyright strike me. two things can be true at the same time. Do I understand their decision? Yes, they've got the right to do that. Am I disappointed by it? Yeah, because it's just me in the spare bedroom of my house, fueled by a burning passion for rugby and a desperation for as many people as possible to enjoy the sport. And that is what motivated me to do it in the first place. So, it hurt, but there you go. That's just the way it goes. I'll tell you how you can support me. Just subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Also, I'll tell you, actually, do you know what you can do as well? You can go and check out Draft XV. This is and just to make it absolutely clear, this is a fantasy game which I have myself started. Me and some mates started this. So this is me trying to share my love of the game, trying to make as many people as possible enjoy rugby. And there is Premiership and URC. The seasons are very close, and you could start a league in the URC with your mates. The advantage of Draft XV over regular salary cap fantasy games, where everyone ends up with the same team. You play against thousands of strangers. Here, you just play against your mates in head-to-head fashion. And if you pick a player, Sasha Feinbergen-Gomezulu, only you get the benefit when Sasha Feinbergen-Gomezulu plays well. Actually, I'll tell you what, one thing that's happened this last week, we ranked Damien Willemse down at number 79 in the rankings for the draft. He's suddenly started going ranked number 1. He's been the first pick in the draft in loads of our URC drafts following his performance at the weekend. But the point is, when Damien Willemse scores 32.9 points like he did in round 17 last year, because he scores a try, 2 conversions, 97 running meters, 10 defenders beaten, only you get the benefit of Damien Willemse. You can join a league. You can get stuck in and join a league that's available right now, or you can set one up to play with your mates. And from as few as 4 and as many as 12 people, draftxv.com or in your app store. There you go. I wasn't expecting to do that, but there you go. If you want to support the channel, that's one of the ways you can do it. Other examples of short-term thinking in rugby, when the Premiership sold the family silver for some short-term cash from CVC. Most people at the time were saying it was a great idea. I was one of the very, very few people saying it would be a disaster. 3 clubs went bust. Clubs are in a bad financial situation, and you're not sure how they're going to actually get to a great place at the minute. It's pretty dark times. I take no pleasure in saying I told you so. In New Zealand, they took private equity cash from Silver Lake. That's now run out, and that might be part of the reason why they've been motivated to come up with this greatest rivalry series. Also, just another question: what is going on with the Nations Championship next year? This competition, which is going to So it's going to be the Six Nations teams, the Rugby Championship teams plus Japan and Fiji. And they play against each other at one time of the year, and then in July and November, North plays South, either home or away, and it culminates with a big finals weekend. What's going on with that? We haven't had any fixtures yet. One of the rumours is that England are going to be playing away in South Africa, away in Argentina, and they're going to be playing Fiji, but not away in Fiji. Another one of those maybe short-term, financially motivated decisions. Let's not go to Suva and help grow the game in Fiji. Let's play the game at home and just offer a bit of cash to Fiji so we can actually have an extra home game. Maybe short-sighted, that one. We'll see. Anyway, that's just rumours at the minute. But here is a potential fixture list of what it might look like for South Africa next year in 2026. These aren't the confirmed fixtures. It's just example fixtures for July and November. But the point is you play 3 of the Northern Hemisphere teams at home, 3 of the Northern Hemisphere teams away, and then August, potentially, it's going to be New Zealand, 4 tests, maybe 3, probably 4, and then 1 game against Australia and Argentina. Also got to fit in Japan and Fiji in here somewhere. So that could be as many as 14 international matches. But 14 international matches where there is no space for a Georgia or a Portugal. So the growth of the wider game, Uruguay, there's not those opportunities to try and get those tier 2 nations up a level. So that again, is that short-term decision-making based on money and at what cost in the long term? But point being, it's a pretty chocker fixture list for South Africa. Compare that to Australia, who don't have those home and away matches in the Rugby Championship. Are they going to play Argentina 3 times in where South Africa are playing New Zealand? Are they going to play those Fiji and Japan games there? Point being is it starts to look a bit like feast and famine. And what impact could that have on Australia if they regressed to where they were a year ago rather than where they are now, that would be a massive shame. And on the Nations Championship, as I said, what of Georgia? What World Rugby have said with this Nations Championship, and I know I'm veering off slightly here, they have said, oh yeah, there'll be promotion and relegation in 2030. I'm not sure I believe them. Heard it all before. Heard it with the Premiership. Oh yeah, we're going to have promotion relegation. No, they're not. They never were, and they're not now. So yeah, I think Pichot raises some interesting conversations. Selfish is quite a tough word to throw at anyone. Ultimately, I think every single union is selfish. Everyone is making decisions in their own self-interest. Gus Pichot is being selfish in coming out swinging like this because he's thinking of Argentina. So I think everyone's doing it. The short-sighted conversation, that one I think maybe has more of a point, but I think that is a problem right across rugby as well. That is not unique to any individual nation. And again, to come back to where I began, two things can be true at the same time. Is it a shame, given how good the Rugby Championship this year is, that Australia and Argentina might be in a tough spot? Yeah. Am I looking forward to the greatest rivalry series in South Africa next year? 100% yes. I cannot wait. There's nuance. There's shades of grey all over the shop. Let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next one.